up, Leo friends? Welcome to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. So happy to have you all up in the teacup, up in the house. Happy New Year, happy 2020 to all the followers out there, and welcome to the newbies. We are here to do your 2020 January general tarot spread here. So with these general readings, not everything I say will resonate with all of the Leos out there. So it is up to you to come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, and ultimately to take away the messages that you feel are for your best and highest good. If something doesn't click, if something doesn't resonate with your circumstance or scenario, you can drop it like it's hot. That probably means it's a message for somebody else. That being said, sometimes messages will resonate for you later down the line, in a few hours, in a few days, in a few weeks. So if that's the case and you get a message and it clicks, take it and run with it. That means it was your message to take. Other than that, everything else is going to be written in the description box below, and that includes the decks I'm using here today, as well as my social media. I'm The Intuitive Teacup on Facebook and Instagram. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe wherever you can, including on this video here. That helps this video gain a lot of traction and gets the messages out to those who want to see them and who need to see them. I think that's it. We're gonna hop in. Did I tell you everything else? Yeah, let's do it. All right, for my Leos. Your energy presenting as justice, all right? So strong card of Libra, balance, harmony, restoring balance within yourself, within your shadow self, especially in Capricorn season, which is all about sort of karmic lessons, taking sort of the difficult struggles, obstacles, challenges, lessons we've had to learn and applying them not only like in the moment now, but also into future endeavors. And then Nine of Wands. Yeah, breaking through obstacles, breaking through barriers that you previously thought you couldn't get through. You thought you were, for some of you, you thought you were held back. And for a lot of you, it actually has to do with holding yourself back. What an interesting message that is. Standing guard, waiting for... I've said this to a couple people, almost waiting for someone to give you permission to do something, when the whole time it's like the power rested in your hands. It's like you didn't need anyone's permission, like you were the gatekeeper of your life, and yet you were standing guard, you know, standing at attention, waiting for, it almost feels like waiting for the attack, like you were anticipating something worse to come, or something not turning out in your favor. And so, yeah, with this, it's like you kind of needed to go in and understand where that energy was coming from, why you were on the defense, why you weren't feeling capable of success or going after whatever it is that you wanted. Some of you got pushed into some sort of scenario very quickly, very swiftly, very rapidly, and maybe that sort of spooked you or freaked you out. I don't know if that would have been in a career or a relationship or some sort of project you got put on, or whatever that is. It could have been, you know, a feud in the family or with a friend. Something escalated very quickly, and I think for a lot of you, that's sort of what put you on the defense. But that, whatever that circumstance was, I think that was sort of like the initiator of having you sort of do that kind of vibrational like learning about like yourself. It's all about interior work here. And that in itself was probably exhausting, but you're nearing the end of the cycle with the Nine of Wands. Once we reach the 10, it's like you can put the burdens down. So whatever weight you've been carrying around with you, physical, mental, emotional, you're finding a healthier way to cope with it, and like whatever you're not able to release at this time, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a person, maybe it's a relationship, for better or worse, right? There may be something in your life just by circumstance you can't totally sever ties with. You're finding a different way to deal with it, or a different perspective to view it from. It's like you're bringing justice to the situation for your own peace of mind. You may have strong Libra or Sagittarius in your chart. You may have been waiting on some sort of court decision, and again, you were worried it wasn't going to weigh out in your favor. You thought you were going to be overlooked or dismissed or disregarded. that your side of the story wouldn't be heard. Yeah, it's almost like you gave up before you even started. There was definitely a lack of confidence or a lack of even just energy. I feel your exhaustion. This is sometimes what we call the wounded warrior card. It's like you got burned in the past, and it's almost like you accepted that to be your story moving forward, and like, hell no, it's 2020, Leo. You're gonna get back out there and do some amazing things. Yeah, it's time to like re-sow the seeds, or take your, whatever it is that you want to grow, take it to new lands, take it to an environment in which it can thrive. This could be your business. This could be a relationship that has been rocky. It's like, go on a vacation, go on a little getaway together. If your business isn't working out in that city, try it online, try it, you know what I mean? It's, something about this is speaking to me about judgment, going back and tying up the loose ends so that you can close out a cycle and start anew successfully. You want something to grow and develop and be healthy and thrive. And it all starts with inner balance. And being honest with yourself, with justice, we always think of like the judge, the truth. What is the truth of the matter, the truth of the situation? It's looking at like the shadow self and looking at like the reflection in the mirror, so to say. It's being honest with where you're currently at. And I do possibly want to say like mistakes that you feel you've made in the past, turning your perspective literally to not see them as mistakes, but as important lessons, like notches on your belt that you've gained along this journey. And you can take those important lessons or apply those important lessons that you've learned during this difficult phase into your next chapter. But yeah, you don't have to carry around the burden of being hurt or wounded anymore. There's a need to wrap up that cycle and like allow something to grow, to thrive. So what's going on in your subconscious? Yeah, the 5 of Cups. That's what I mean. It's like, this is all about perspective. As I was saying, almost like the Hangman, seeing something from a different viewpoint. That's the same here. It's like we can choose to focus on the past and the disappointments, the spilled cups. This is all about your emotions. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces rules the heart space, the love, the relationships, even a job or something that meant a lot to you, something you cared deeply about. It didn't work out, or it caused you pain or frustration. It didn't work in some capacity. I call this the total eclipse of the heart. You're shrouded in this black robe and all you can see is the spilled cups and you'll never get it back. But if you were to change your perspective on the matter and recognize that by, turning around in metaphor, there's 2 cups that are upright. There's something about the situation that can absolutely be salvaged, that can absolutely take you down some sort of new avenue that with 2 cups will bring you joy, right? It's not only the 1 cup, your cup runneth over. There could be multiple opportunities from these spilled cups that offer you like a different avenue, like bridging the gap, going to new lands to sow those seeds, potentially in a relationship too. All right. So what's clarifying the 5 of Cups is the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is going after what you truly deserve. It's going after your 9 of Cups, your wish fulfillment. So some of you were settling in a relationship where you weren't being recognized, or you weren't getting the love and attention that you needed. You weren't getting the support. You weren't getting, and that could even be like financial support, emotional support, particularly with the cups. You weren't being seen, you weren't being heard, et cetera, et cetera. There was something in this relationship where maybe there was third-party situations going on, somebody couldn't fully commit to you, but your head is so wrapped around what used to be in the past. And I say this with love, Leo, right? You're missing out on something even better because you're thinking, that's it, that's where my story rests, that's where my story lies. Again, some sort of disappointment that kind of put you in self-defense mode and warrior mode, constantly needing to be alert and ready for the next attack. This attack is over. Like, I say bloodshed only because it's like depicted that way, but it was probably something pretty brutal that you went through, right? I mean, this is a card of sadness, right? Any 5 in tarot, it's awkward. It's an awkward number. It's uneven. But what's so important about 5s is that they offer sometimes uncomfortable change into our life, But from what I can tell, like what you need so badly right now is change. You don't need to stand at attention, at guard, almost like blocking your blessings any longer because you're waiting for the scales to rule in your favor. You're waiting for the decision, the judge. Maybe you were waiting on a Libra, right? Who kind of gave you the runaround and maybe didn't commit to you. That's not going to be for everybody, or a Scorpio for that matter. Anyway, there's other opportunities that are going to bring you happiness, and they're even better. That's what Eight of Cups says. Eight of Cups is essentially saying that the cups in front of us here, while at one point they were fulfilling, emotionally fulfilling, they were interesting, we liked them, etc., they aren't anymore. It's like the water's been tapped. There's no more positive energy that we can take from these cups, so the only choice is to walk away because we have to have faith that there's something better. It like resigning yourself to this life of solitude and sorrow and darkness and depression, that's such like a lack mentality. And so why it's coming up in your subconscious is because you probably know there's something better, but motivating yourself to, I don't even know if motivating is the right term. Recognizing that you can do better, recognizing that there's a whole other like world ahead of you that you can, hop on over the bridge and try something else, try something new, meet new people, whatever that is. There's an emotional risk to that, right? Because it does involve leaving what is familiar. And it does involve leaving the past behind, leaving people who maybe you still have feelings for, but again, didn't do you right in some capacity. There's an emotional risk leaving that behind. But Eight of Cups is coming up to remind you like there's better out there. Because again, what follows this is Nine of Cups, something more in alignment with your true wishes, your goals, your desires, your happiness. And it may be another romantic partnership if that is ringing true for you. If not, this could just be something, I always think Two of Cups, who or what do you love? So if this has to do with a job that didn't work out, if you lost your job or something, whatever, didn't work out, there's another opportunity to find something or someone that matches your cup, something that's going to be a better fit for you, Leo. And it's scary too because some of you don't know what that is yet, right? This card has almost like a fool vibe to it, and there has to be a huge leap of faith in knowing that I'm going to go forward not knowing what my future holds, but I have faith that it's going to be better than what I currently have. Like it's pretty heavy stuff, Leo, so I understand why you're sort of at this. It does almost feel like a crossroads of once you get your balance back, where do I go from here? Like, I've been standing at this post so long, it's my home, it's all I've ever known. But look, there's not much there for you, right? There's a whole world to be seen and explored, and that's such, kind of Leo energy, to go off and have fun. Are you having fun, Leo? I think that needs to be part of your goal. Personal growth is going to be huge for you in January. All right. So 2 cards flew out in your past. All right. Yeah. Guys, come on. I can't write this. So, I don't mean to laugh at all. But this is sort of what I was getting at. For most of you, this feels like a romantic spread or something about your ex. Potentially a Cancer or a Gemini. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, a 2 of Cups. Somebody who you thought matched your cup. It was a false belief because, look, it kept you imprisoned. A mental prison. And when this card comes up, it is suggesting that our beliefs are holding us back. Our thoughts, the swords representing our thoughts, our ideas, our communications. They're what's imprisoning us, but they're your own thoughts, Leo. So that's the thing. There may be something about this relationship that you didn't see with clarity. She is wearing a blindfold, right? There may have been something that you turned a blind eye to. It may have been third-party shit. Maybe, you found out your person was fooling around, but you had enough love in your heart where it's like you were able to balance it out and be like, okay, I don't love that, but maybe they'll grow into me, or maybe, this relationship will grow and develop. And I'm not saying with absolute certainty that it wouldn't. This card is coming up for a reason, but for me, this card is representing you growing, you developing, you blooming and blossoming elsewhere, like in another garden. Sorry for the cheesy metaphor, but when the 2 of Cups comes up, great. Who or what do you love? A cup that matches yours, hurrah, dating, like that. It's a cute, warm cup. It's a card of Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces, right? But when it's mixed with this is like a terribly uncomfortable energy. You feel stuck. You feel frozen. You're not growing at all, right? Like it's the opposite of this. You feel stuck. Your thoughts are eating away at you. False beliefs that are keeping you stuck. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not, well educated. Whatever that is, that was impeding on this relationship. So I will say, even if the relationship was crystal clear in terms of, no, we loved each other and we weren't fooling around and this and that, you may have had some, I don't know how to phrase it, personal problems that were impeding on this relationship. Maybe you grew up and had insane amounts of insecurity just because of the way your parents treated you or whatever, right? It's different for everybody. This was impeding on the ability for this relationship to grow. So for some of you, it could have been an abusive partner who told you things that, verbally abusive, emotionally, physically, God forbid, something that wasn't allowing you to see things clearly. It could have been a result of what your partner was doing or saying. If not, it may have had to do with you carrying around some mental baggage from past wounds, trauma, childhood, maybe people you've dated in the past. This is contributing to this unhealthy mindset, and with coming out with this, it's bleeding over in your ability to come into a relationship without baggage, if that makes sense. Leo, I want to give you a big hug because I sense that this energy is really heavy. Like, the messages I'm telling you are hard to hear. I just want you to know I acknowledge that. I only have to read, what the cards are telling me here, but this is great energy to me. This is trying to get balance back into your life and for yourself. Again, the reflection of you. I just love this card. I think it's great. And yeah, just this energy feels so good. We just kind of have to get you off your standing post there, because you're at attention. You're the warrior, right? As we were saying, the wounded warrior. It looks like you've been wounded a lot. It looks like this has been terribly uncomfortable in your past, and potentially it keeps coming up in every relationship you're in. So how do we cope with this? How do we get over these huge mental hurdles, essentially, right? It's about changing your patterns of belief. You're changing your patterns of thought, looking in the mirror and seeing what's actually there, right? I heard body dysmorphia for some of you. And so no shade at all. Whenever I see something like this come up, 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords, those are cards indicating that your thoughts are coming from a very unhealthy place. So if you resonate with this, if this is at all your story and you're really struggling, this would be like an appropriate time to try and seek out some sort of outlet of counseling, right? To get your thoughts back to a healthy perspective. Because if you're not able to do it yourself, and not everyone is, right? There's no shame about that. It does seem like you have some issues that you potentially might need some help working through. This feels very overwhelmed to me, and I will say, you may be coming into a partnership thinking that's what's going to heal your wounds, and that's a very unhealthy mentality to start a relationship. This is a 2 of Cups, right? This is relatively new. This is dating. Yeah, make sure you're in a good spot before you put your cup out to love people, because if you don't love yourself, that's setting you and your partner up for sorry guys, my camera froze. I don't want to say you're setting your guys' self up for failure, but you're setting yourself up for a very tricky situation. In order to get this off the ground, there's a lot of emotional and mental healing that needs to be done. All right, so let's look at your goals. What's up with that? The Wheel of Fortune. I heard get me the hell out of here. Like the wheel moving forward, almost like even Chariot vibes. If Cancer may be prominent for some of you. You may be a Cancer Leo cusper potentially. The Wheel of Fortune, fate, destiny, good luck, a change in fortune, right? Moving us forward. You're depicted on this card, Leo, the 4 fixed zodiac signs, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Let's get you out of here. Let's start a new chapter. Let's see some good, some positivity come out of this. And here's the thing. That's what we were saying here. All this nasty shit that's happened to you, that's again weighing so heavily on your mind, where you're stuck, you're overwhelmed, you don't know where to go. There is a different perspective you could choose to look at this from, and maybe by meeting this person or by taking this job that ultimately didn't work out, right? And I'm saying for better or worse, but ultimately for better, and here's why. It offered you some sort of avenue that came from this, if that makes sense. We just have to get you to recognize it or see it, or be open to even accepting the fact that you deserve better than what you currently have. Instead of, standing at guard, status quo, this is my life and I've accepted it. What if you chose to seek out the miracles? What if you chose to change direction? Course correct. That's the term. Sagittarius may be strong in your chart. But yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is a card of Jupiter, which is about expansion and fortune and good luck. Some of you waiting on a court decision, yeah, you're hoping it goes in your favor. Ooh. Interesting. So you have the Wheel of Fortune again in reverse, which it's so interesting. It's like a mirror image of this. And 10 to 11, by the way. The Wheel of Fortune is 10, Justice is 11. I don't know if that number change is significant to anyone. It may have to do with an address you live at, or like an apartment, like 10, 11, or I don't know what that is. Anyway, the Wheel of Fortune. And again, it's your perspective of how you view it. Do you view getting out of this situation as fortunate, or are you still lingering on what could have been, or I should have been able to fix it? I'm just getting the cups have been spilled. It's time to look for something else. You also have the Lovers, card of Gemini. You have another card of Gemini here too as well. You're looking to be lucky in love, in partnership, and also in making better decisions, making better choices. And I am just going to throw this out there, very specific to this deck with the Lovers. There are 3 people shown here, right? There's someone who's like peeking in, and granted, it's a picture in a frame, but that's what I mean. I'm getting like main piece, side piece, like third party type shit. It is coming up a little bit here. And I think it's because you were choosing, and no shade, right? If it's not your story, drop it like it's hot. You may have been choosing partners because you wanted a quick fix on how to heal issues that you weren't able to heal on your own. And that's why, like, I am your cheerleader here, Leo. Like, if you're really struggling, and I think you are, these are, dare I say, like, devastating cards. You guys went through something pretty major. This would be like a good time to, again, seek some sort of outlet where you can express what's going on in your head. Even if that's not therapy, even if that's not counseling, someone you trust, a best friend, an outsider perspective, right? Somebody who wasn't involved in this, if that makes sense. So an unbiased opinion. And that's what this is. Someone who can make a fair ruling, a fair judgment. So for some of you, because it is a card of Libra and again, rules the mindscape, fairness, intellect, and also conversation, information, this could represent counseling, right? Balancing out your own emotions. Some of you may have a twin, something involving a twin, the reflection. And it's funny, I'm almost getting something about competition. Not feeling like you measure up to that person. And that's not for everyone, obviously. That was just like a random one that came through. Even with this, it's like they have all the luck and I get all the shit luck, or, nothing good ever happens to me, they get everything. Even if it's not, oh, okay. If it's not a literal twin, it's your twin flame. Okay, I think that's what this says. You have a lot of double imagery, and with the Lovers, and a lot of these cards indicate that. If you went through a relationship that was, again, very difficult, wounded warrior type outcome, I want to be careful how I phrase this, but that relationship, again, how I was saying here, was valuable to you in that you learned some tremendous lessons from it. And it has to do with how you love, the capacity to love, how you learned potentially from your parents or those around you what a healthy relationship looks like. You may have some issues in your subconscious you're not even aware of based on the household you grew up in or the relationships you saw around you. So again, getting those feelings up and out to the surface so you can examine them and find out why you're feeling that way, why you react that way when you're in a relationship or situation. And if it's not romantic, this could all apply to how you handle yourself in the career field. Do you understand? Some of you were dealing with a twin flame and the idea that by meeting this person in your soul's journey, your spiritual path, this ultimately was a person that held a mirror up to you, and things that you recognized in them, you were actually recognizing in yourself. Again, this is very deep, very like subconscious type stuff, like deep within the wells of our subconscious, our emotions. Yeah, it's like finding a cup that matches yours. That doesn't necessarily indicate that it was a healthy cup just because it matched yours. You guys may both have trauma from childhood and that's what you bonded over, or not even like consciously, right? You may both have issues that kind of, effed you up as a kid and you might not even be aware of it, but that's almost why your cups came together, was so you guys could learn from each other and recognize, oh my gosh, I've been holding myself back all these years because I didn't realize how prominent this feeling was inside of me, and it always, you know, rears its ugly head when I'm in new relationships. It's something like that. Yeah, it's looking at I just want to say new perspective, seeing it from a different way. The Wheel of Fortune, it's like it rests in your favor, it's on your side, but are you taking advantage of it? If you're recognizing that, okay, repeating cycles over and over again with the same people, this is saying it's time to walk away from that. It's time for like a changing of the tide, a turning of the tide, changing of the cycle, particularly when it comes to this. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not here to beat you up, Leo. Good Lord, we gotta like, whew, this energy is very heavy, guys. But I mean, it's coming up in your goals. You want change. You want destiny to bring you something else, something new, someone who's committed. Something you love, something you're excited about too. Someone who matches your intensity and like your creativity and sexuality. So what's coming in your near future? Hell yes. I like seeing that. Releasing the burdens, kissing them goodbye. So I was saying, you're at the 9. That's almost the conclusion of a cycle. You get to the 10 and you can put it down. Sweet forgiveness. You can put it down now. It's like there's some sort of click that all this shit you're carrying around with you, there's something that can be done with it. Again, there's a healthy coping mechanism where you step outside of this prison. You step outside of this role as wounded warrior. There may be some sort of judgment call you make about a person in your life or a situation or some sort of reflecting you do on, again, your emotions or your thoughts, your anxiety potentially. There's a change. There's some sort of change where you're like, I don't need this anymore. Like I'm going to do something with all this like excess baggage that I've been carrying around potentially for years. 10. That's a pretty heavy load. Yeah, you're going to forge some sort of friendship with someone, a bond, I don't know if this is romantic. You do have 2 of Cups again, but I will say I like this better. There's something about it that this actually feels like joining some sort of healing group. There's something about alchemy here, or like a magic, this sounds so silly, but like a magic relationship. It like AA stood out to me, and maybe that's part of an issue. Maybe these cups are representing alcohol abuse on one person's end, right? It doesn't have to be yours, Leo. This feels like holding hands and like committing to a path together of like cleansing the waters, emotional healing. Yes, okay. This feels like a friendship where you commit to each other's emotional healing. So again, this could be your best friend. This could be a new romantic partner. It could also be, again, going to counseling or going to some sort of social, social outlet where you can really like dig deep into like what's in your cup, what's going on in the subconscious, in my emotions, in my feelings. And that's exactly what I was saying. By doing this, and it's not alone, that's what's so important. There is some sort of stigma about, I fought this battle alone, I didn't need anyone's help, I didn't have to seek therapy or counseling. Like, hell no, that's not a thing here. This is saying forging some sort of connection, some sort of like magic connection. I will say maybe with a Sagittarius too, that keeps coming up here. That is what allows you to recognize the shit you've been carrying around, and it's new, it's brand new. 2 of Cups, right? Especially something about this group, there's people come from a wide variety of, or different walks of life, different races, different ages, different genders, different ethnicities. It is 2 of Cups, but I'm getting something about groups of people carrying around lots of baggage. And I'm almost getting this is just a piece of the circle of like 18 people in a circle holding hands and forging this friendship out of out of similar stories. It's actually really incredible because that's what we were saying here. The cups that were brought together, they matched because they were unhealthy. The cups that come together here, they match because there's a desire to get healthy, to be happy, to improve self-worth, to improve confidence, to find joy, to seek out, again, healthy outlets of relationships. It's actually a really beautiful message, guys. Yeah, you're growing something new. Guys, this is so beautiful. This is what came out in your energy. You know, standing at your post wounded warrior and trying to find your internal balance. It's almost like there's something you salvaged from what was spilled. Again, this opportunity, this Two of Cups, here it is. So for those who need to hear this, yes, this sucked, and it was so unfortunate that you went through this, and it weighs heavily on your heart. I am not denying this. There is something good that came from it. And I know that's hard to hear, and it's probably not going to make sense right now in the moment. Follow your intuition, though, to discover what good could have possibly come out of this Three of Cups, because maybe this led you down a path you wouldn't have otherwise discovered. Having to deal with unhealthy relationships and learn some difficult lessons, it set you up for success, so that you can find a bond that is just like incredible, that defies logic, that's magic, right? People whose cups together, they come together and they're strong and beautiful on their own. Like they both have magic, they both have something to contribute and offer. Something wild and magic about this relationship. And that's what I was saying. Somebody who matches like your passion, your creativity, your intense energies, like sexuality, right? That's important. You have to find a good pairing in that arena too. You salvage something from what was spilled, right? And it has to do with you. I want to be clear. It's like your seed, your love, your emotions, your self-worth. It's almost like you uproot it from the ground and take it elsewhere so that it can grow and thrive the way it was supposed to. It goes from just like this little bushel to a full-fledged like tree. A family tree, right? Maybe, again, your soul family, if this is some sort of like, I'm just getting like a getaway of people who want to better their lives. If not, it could be meeting that romantic partner where it is equal give and take, where there is the scales of justice. You both have equally good, beautiful, healthy things to offer. And like family tree, maybe you find someone and this will stand the test of time. It's well rooted, it's well established, right? Because you weren't carrying around all this extra stuff when you met this person, right? You were working through it, or you found a healthy way to cope and start fresh, right? I keep getting the image of that movie, The Professional, with it's like little Natalie Portman. She's like 12 years old. She carries around a plant, and at the end, and you know what? I don't even think it's hers. It's the no spoilers, but the guy she moves in with at the end, she ends up planting it for him. Anyway, you should check out that movie. Sometimes I get messages and they're like derived from like music and movies, and I keep getting that. It has to do with the plant, and it does have to do with uprooting it from a healthy environment and putting it in a safe space. She ends up going to like an orphanage at the end or something along those lines. It's healthy, it's safe, there's stability there. All right, final advice or guidance: Chariot, get the hell out of there. It's time to move on. And also dark and light, internal balance, right? In order to get this Chariot to move forward, both your energies, your dark and your light, your good and your positive and your negative, which everybody has, right? Everybody has that. Ooh, sorry, I'm dropping cards everywhere. Your negative and your positive, your dark and your light. It's utilizing both to get this Chariot to move forward, to move on, to recognize this isn't my story anymore. And again, having faith, there's something better out there for you. Another card of Cancer. Cancer has played a very huge role in this. It's a card of victory, by the way. So for those really driving the struggle bus right now, for those who are really stuck in this kind of, I don't know what to do with my life, everything's ending, you have some tricky cards here. There is light at the end of the tunnel, guys. There absolutely is. This is a card of victory. And it's you driving the Chariot, but you have to want to leave, right? No one can force you out of this relationship or force you out of this job or force you out of this, unstable family dynamic, right? You have to make the decision for yourself. And that's going to come from self-reflection, right? Turbulence. The mind is murky in rough waters. Absolutely. Get yourself to a safe space, right? And I mean, that's a heavy message in itself, depending on what you're going through. If the cup that matches yours was unhealthy to begin with, murky, as it's described here, you're not going to be able to think with clarity. Your emotions are going to be playing tricks on you, and that's going to affect what you're thinking. Even what you're feeling, right? I'm with someone, so I must be better off. That is not always the case, right? Turbulence. The mind is murky in rough waters. So get yourself to new waters, right? You have several cards that promote movement and change. Forward movement. The wheel on the Wheel of Fortune is also metaphorically the wheel on your chariot, right? Something about a horse might be like, I don't know if it's your spirit animal or some sort of totem. You may have a necklace or a tattoo with a horse. Yeah, something about that may come as your message, where you recognize, like, if this video strikes true for you, something about a horse or moving to, I don't know if you have a horse or want to move to some place that has a horse. Something about the horse is important. A horse, of course. Safety. Don't be too proud to go back to shore. Yeah, try and try again. Just because you didn't succeed the first time when you tried to walk away doesn't mean you can't try again. And again, multiple cards indicating you can move forward. If you set your mind to it, you absolutely can. But you are the charioteer. You are the one who's driving your future, your chariot to your destiny, right? Leo, this was a heavy message. Good Lord. I am giving you guys a big hug. Please do like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if any of this resonated for you, and seek help if you need it. That's actually the biggest message walking away from this. Don't be too proud to seek safety from whatever it is you're going through. Thanks for joining me, guys. All the best to you, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye.